Though we have all traveled many uncertain roads, we have always recognized something wasn't right. We searched high and low, yet our paths had never intersected. Our desire to seek truth, then to speak true, has brought us all together. That thing of ours is rooted in truth, because truth is the only unshakable foundation. In the greatest book, it states in John 8:32, "For ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free."
Truth is a powerful force. It is the foundation on which all great achievements are built, and the bedrock of trust and respect in any relationship. When we are rooted in truth, we can be confident that our decisions and actions are grounded in reality rather than in speculation or wishful thinking.
The pursuit of truth is not always easy. It requires courage, perseverance, and a willingness to face uncomfortable facts. But in the end, the truth is always worth it. It allows us to make better decisions, to build stronger relationships, and to create a more just and equitable world.
From politics and world events to entertainment and pop culture, we've got you covered. We'll explore our history and the stories that matter to uncover the truth that lies at the heart of each one. With our fingers on the pulse of the news cycle, we'll provide the insights and analysis you need to stay informed and engaged. As we stay rooted in truth and let the truth guide us in all that we do, let us be willing to listen, to learn, and seek out the facts, even when they challenge our own assumption or belief.
Let us never forget that the pursuit of truth is not just an individual endeavor, but a collective one. Only by working together
With honesty and integrity,
can we build a better future for ourselves
And for generations to come.
This is That Thing of Ours. Oh, look, there's Kay. Maybe we have sound again. I have no idea. I hope so, because she's just now coming in. All right.
should have sound.
We should have sound.
We should-
Yep. Okay, we do have sound. Okay, good. As you can see, technology makes our lives so much easier. Anyways, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us today on the, oh Lord, I even forgot what day it is. Tuesday, 15th of July, 2025. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us today on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, Locals, and Pill.net.
And if you haven't already, please take a minute and give us that thumbs up. Also, don't forget to comment, share, and tell everyone about us.
Show enough. All right. So as y'all can see, we've been having a little bit of technical difficulties here. Her computer crashed like right before. We actually, the intro was done playing. So Kay's going to be doing some things in the background, but I'm going to go ahead and start saying hi to everybody unless you want to.
Nope, go ahead, please.
Okay. So Hope was the first one today. How you doing, Hope? Thank you for joining us. Let's see what else. Who else? Got Lil Lunker. What's going on? Howdy, friends. Just about home from work. Drive safely. We look forward to you being here. Then we got Mike. What's going on, Mike? Got F Clan. Yo, what's up, F Clan? Hold on, computers ain't working again. Oh, jeez, computers. Anyways, what's up, F Clan? Then let's see. Looks like we got Mikey here. What's going on, Mikes? Thanks for joining. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Letting us know that we're 5x5 and they're home. Carol. Hey, Carol, there you are. All right. So looks like the gang's all showing up. It looks like we're just trying to show up here ourselves.
Yeah.
But we'll get it done. Anyways, let's see.
Give me a little bit of time.
You need a little bit of time. Okay.
I can... Oh, wait.
Wrong thing. Oh, Lord. There we go.
Give me one.
As you can tell, we're super duper professional operation here. We got
stop.
Project Mockingbird money around here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have anything that we can pop up in the meantime, dear?
Give me 1 second, please.
What? Mississippi.
Don't do that.
Don't do that? Okay.
Don't do
Well, I
that.
won't do that too.
Okay.
All right. So
Share screen.
Sharing the screen eventually.
We're going to start off with Epstein today.
There we go. That's always a safe one to do. Is there a video or is this a
No,
reading thing?
This is a read.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and jump right in now. Thank you for your patience. All right. Says man who served time in the same cell as Epstein says there's just no way he was able to kill himself. It would be almost
Oh,
impossible.
wait, there's a video. I lied.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and play that.
It was Michael Francesi. But I think this is information that we shared like once upon a time. The people who were paying attention before probably already knew this because he did say that he was in there and it was impossible for him to kill himself. So it's, yeah, a little bit more. But I think that this is one of the things that we're going through with the whole Epstein bit is that we're catching all the people up from the far left and so on. So here we go. I think. Will there be a commercial?
Yes,
Of course, there's a commercial. Oh man.
Okay, I'm joined now by someone, and this is interesting, with intimate knowledge of the very jail cell Epstein died in. Michael Francis, he was a capo for the Colombo crime family in the 1980s. He served time in the exact cell where Epstein was later held. Michael, welcome back to the program. Tell us about that cell and what do you make of these revelations that there is a minute missing from the surveillance video, Michael?
Well, listen, I spent 7 months on that tier and in those cells. And the first thing I have to say, there's no way you are able to commit suicide. There's just no way. There's no way to hang yourself. There's nothing from the ceiling. There's nothing from the bed. You'd have to be a midget and work really hard to try to hang yourself. And I don't think you can accomplish it at that point. As far as the cameras being off, I haven't experienced that. I did 8 years in prison, and I haven't experienced cameras being broken in the perfect storm of correctional officers not walking those cells. They walk in and they look in on you all the time. As a matter of fact, sometimes it's embarrassing to go to the toilet because they're walking past you and looking in the cell constantly. So I've said this from day one. I do not believe it was suicide. I can't talk about what happened to him, but I don't believe it was a suicide because you just couldn't physically do it. It would be almost impossible to do it. So that's number one.
It must be interesting, Michael, when you look at the video, though, it must be interesting because you know the area. I mean, we all look at this and it just looks like a prison, but this must look very familiar to you.
Absolutely. Very familiar. And the fact that a minute is missing, look, everything around this guy, I just did a very deep dive into him, which I'll be releasing on my platform in the next several days. Look, there's no way that this person operated alone. Look, they have the videos. Alan Dershowitz recently said that he saw the client list, but because there's people that he can't, because he's an attorney, he can't, reveal what he saw. But he said he saw the client list. He's demanding that it be released. To think that there's no flight logs, that there's no client list, that the thousands of recordings that they had, because I found out for sure that he had cameras on every bedroom, recording everything. And all of a sudden, all of it is gone. I mean, none of this makes sense. And look, the only reason it's important, it's not that anybody's trying to say, come on, this guy was a creep. And there was young women involved in this, young girls that were trafficked and abused. I have 5 daughters and I have granddaughters, and I just don't like it. And anybody that's involved in this should be held accountable. I recently interviewed Paul Hutchinson, who was, a major figure in the Sound of Freedom. He was one of the ones that went to rescue, I think, 51 or 52 of these young girls and young boys that were being exploited and trafficked. I mean, this has got to stop. And if these people are not held accountable, it's just going to continue. And unfortunately, it seems like it's people with power and money. It seems that, from what my investigation, that this Les Wexner was the first one that Epstein was able to bribe. And, there's a lot of stuff here that needs to come out, and it's really shameful if it doesn't. That's my opinion. But as far as the jail cell, no way there was a suicide.
I want to go back to the jail cell because you lived in that jail cell. And just real quick, again, tell me, would you have the privacy in that jail cell to take your own life?
Not only would you not have the privacy, I don't understand how you would be able to do it. You have to hang yourself from something. There's nothing on the ceiling that you can hang a bed sheet on. The bed is not that high. I mean, you have to try to lay down on the floor in some way, because Jeffrey Epstein was a fairly big guy. You'd have to be a midget to even try to hang yourself. So it's not a question of not only are there cameras on are the CEOs walking the tier constantly, especially from what I understand, Jeffrey Epstein was on suicide watch for a while. They watch you very, very closely. Trust me on that. So I just can't buy it. I cannot buy it. I'm sorry. And I have no horse in this race other than my experience and the fact that I just couldn't see it happening.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we appreciate you coming on tonight, Michael. We appreciate your perspective, especially as someone who's been in that exact cell.
So the only institutional bulwark.
So,
and then
first of all,
Mikey's sharing there.
let's say hi. Hello, Miss Jenny.
Jenny!
Watch out for the frogs, Jenny.
Watch out for frogs, Jenny.
Also, Liberty joined us.
Yep. What's up, Liberty?
Did I miss anyone?
I'm sure we missed people. Anyways, so yeah, he ended up being an informant. As far as I know, I don't know the depth of everything that he shared, but this information is coming out now, and it's all leading to something. And I had seen another article where, like, you can't even go to the bathroom when you're doing that because they're always looking in and checking on you. You just know somebody's going to see you, and apparently it's kind of like obtrusive, or it's certainly a lack of personal space. In the article that I was reading about his time when he was in that part of the cell block, it was interesting that he's starting to speak up now, but a lot of people are starting to speak up, and I think it's we're definitely being led in a direction. So what is that direction? I think that the direction that I think where the trail is going to end for the mass public is going to be with the Clintons. I think that it's going to begin, end, and be done with them. I think that they're going to take the fall for the island more so than anybody else. But that doesn't mean that the private, the stuff done in the background that we see isn't going to be, there's a lot of stuff that is not going to be made public, I have a feeling, is what I'm trying to get at. You have the document to prove.
You know what, Mikey? We would love for you to come on the show sometime and talk to us about all the stuff you have.
I know that there's a ton of information out there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just trying to read the tea leaves. And I know that all that information is out there. Yeah. And there's some great shows that really dive deep into all of that stuff. And I think that that's great because there will always be a need to search and see, what is being hidden. Because I don't think that the game is going to end after all of this information comes out. Right. Do I believe that President Trump is going to clean house and the whole group and everybody that's trying to restore America to its original principles? I think that those people are doing all sorts of house cleaning. We're seeing it every day and it's playing out in the news. But I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of stuff that isn't going to be told, and that's going to be done for very specific reasons. And those reasons are going to be along the lines of a lot of these people still make the world go round. Right. And if you were to get rid of all these people, it would be a complete collapse of society. And that would be significantly worse. It would be, think of the collapse of Rome and then how everything, fell apart from there. It would be absolute pandemonium. And I don't think anybody wants that. A lot of people might have watched, a lot of 300 or, name a badass movie or something like that and think that, they're Spartans and whatnot. But that's, it's nobody wants to live through anything like that. And so I'm glad that things are playing out the way they are, kind of. But I also know that this is also an attempt to get people on the left to start looking at what the people on the right have been saying, because they want to go to all of the places like Glenn Beck. And there was an article on Liberty Daily earlier today where they were talking about these conservative, large voices, Charlie Kirk, et cetera.
Yeah, I have those videos. It's just we have so much other stuff.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to go over those tomorrow.
Okay, but basically, long story short, the people that would never have considered going to look at these conservative commentators on the internet are now going to look at them, and they're going to hear a little bit more of the logic. It's part of the waking up process from the far left, I believe, is what's going on. I have absolutely zero proof for that, but based off of what I'm seeing, the way the people on the far left are talking now, they want to spike the football. And so they want to go over to conservative channels and talk some trash, and then in the meantime, they're hearing the logic and reason that's being presented, and so it's waking them up as well. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would you please read that?
Roger Stone offers solution for President Trump to properly release the Epstein files.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Let's listen.
This sounds like it's a good one.
The solution to this issue, because I too favor full disclosure, and I want to know everything about this case, is for President Trump to direct his attorney general, to direct the interim U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York to move to unseal all of the grand jury testimony that was presented when the Trump administration charged Jeffrey Epstein with child sex trafficking and conspiracy to conduct child sex trafficking. And while they're at it, they should unseal the search warrants for his island as well as his palatial home in Manhattan, which are sealed at the request or the motion of Prosecutor Maureen Comey. Everything you want to know is in those documents. It is the Trump administration, not the Biden administration, certainly not the Obama administration, that moved in federal court to bring Jeffrey Epstein to justice.
Thoughts?
All right. So it's an interesting way of trying to get the information out that otherwise would not be able to get out. And I think that this is kind of a soft way of guiding the situation. I can see that this would be coming to a head here in the next couple of months. A lot of stuff is starting to really come to a head right now. And so if the information is already out there from the grand juries, it would certainly be a way in which to release specific information that they want released that may have been destroyed by the previous administration's FBI, because we know that they had a lot of time to do whatever they wanted and needed to do with the information that they had gathered. But that does not mean that the information that's already been presented isn't enough information to paint enough of a picture. And so it's going to be, the voices are all coming out right now, and Mr. Stone there, with this little stone, who knows what could happen.
Right.
But even Kevin Spacey started piping up at this point in time. You have that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Silver.
Hey, Silver. Thanks
And
for
then
joining.
Mike's question.
Is it God or Trump or both? I believe I'm going to say that everything's God. And the reason why I say that is we don't know. Like, if it's good, obviously it's God. If it's something that is not good, I'm going to say that it's Trump's ego at that point in time. But I'm going to say that's with each and every person on the planet.
Mhm.
When we're doing good, we must give glory to God. But at the same time, we must take ownership of our failings.
Right.
Trump seems to be doing a lot of great things. Now, at this time, a lot of people are worried and scared and think that, oh my God, we've been betrayed. But that's a lack of faith at this point in time, because we know Trump has been playing this game for a little bit longer. And we need to not lose our focus as to what happened the previous 4 years when Trump was actually in office, and the way he was going about dealing with problems within his own, cabinet. And I have a feeling that some of these cabinet members might need to be fleshed out as not necessarily caring about the country, may be compromised. It's still going to happen because he has to have support, President Trump, that is, has to have support from very large organizations. Obviously, Trump had support from big oil before, hence Rex Tillerson, right? I think it was Tillerson. Anyways, he was the former Secretary of State. And so I believe that, there might be some of those kinds of appointments that are still around. And so he's still got to play that game. He's got to remember, we're barely 6 months into his presidency. How long was 7? How long was Rex Tillerson around before President Trump started cleaning his cabinet out? So remember, there's a process. It's going to take some time. He understands that the midterms are, starting to fire up right now, but that doesn't mean that Trump has lost his way. Trump is still playing the game. He's still surrounded. So we must support, at the person who's God has put at the head of this country. Because remember, he's still learning his own spiritual lessons. Hope says, I think it's God working through Trump. I believe that's the truth in a lot of ways as well. He's anointed to some extent. Do I believe he's a King Saul and he's going to lose it? I don't think so. I really don't. I think that he's here at this time. He's the right person. He's been doing everything right, at least for the last 8 years. So why would he turn around and screw it up now, especially when he's going to do something that really makes him look like a liar?
Yeah.
God is the only way. Yeah, there are no coincidences.
There really isn't.
Oh, wait, it's Chachi. Hey, Chachi.
Hey, Chachi. So glad you're here. We've missed
Saw
you.
that video with Kevin. Yeah, we've missed all of y'all's. And thank you for joining us, Mikey, too. Anyways, all right. You're getting Nancy Pants over there.
Yeah, I know. I'm having struggles over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We just pray for, I guess the best we can do in this scenario is to keep pray for Trump's heart to remain soft and focused on God and what he's put him here for.
Yeah.
I think he's going to continue to do that. That's what I feel in my heart. C Strike says, people forget how good things were in Trump's first presidency. They did. They were too busy listening to what the left was saying.
Yeah.
All right. I was thinking about you guys the other day. Well, here we are.
Here we are.
We've been thinking about you.
Yeah, we've been here since Sunday.
Archangel Uriel incarnated and was saved in Butler by Archangel Michael. It's an interesting theory. It's an interesting theory.
Yeah. Yes, Silver. I remember
Promises
make promises kept.
Yeah, I just know that where I'm at personally is I would like to see enough winning where I say that I'm tired of winning. Still looking forward to that day. I know it's coming.
Exactly. So.
Yes, exactly.
I know. So this is from Drudge, of course.
Mm-hmm. Okay, The Guardian.
Yes.
So take where the information's coming from. Take it with a grain of salt. Republicans move to block Democratic effort to force a release of Epstein files. I'm going to tell you right now, just off of the headline alone, I'm going to say that they're trying to force Trump's hand so that way he has to release something before he's ready. And that's what I think is going on. So if the left is trying to force Trump's hand to release the files, they're trying to get Trump to fall into a trap. He needs to stand strong and stick with the plan. That's what we've always said. That's what we've always read that it says in Q. And if you're still following the Q and if you still believe Q, then you're saying he's got to follow the plan no matter what. And this would be one of those challenges.
Yeah. So this is from Drudge.
Okay.
Can you read that?
I've read the headline.
You want to read that?
Republican lawmakers have moved to block a Democratic effort to force the release of the so-called Epstein files, a near mythological trove of undisclosed information about the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein at the center of an internal political war among U.S. conservatives. Okay, first things first, the words that they're using, mythological, they're putting these words into your head. And one of the things, when you read these articles, you got to read it all the way through because they front load it with their opinion. And then down at the bottom and, somewhere buried somewhere about 2/3, 3/4 of the way through, that's where they end up putting the actual facts of what's going on. And so we have to try and, make it through the article. It's always good to see what the other side is saying. Okay.
Okay.
How much of this am I reading here?
No, just that.
I'm just curious.
that.
All right.
But you see what Mikey said?
It was proven to be a false story. I get it. There are a lot of falsehoods, but that's the thing is
But
we're
that's from
going to see.
Drudge.
Yeah, it's so this is from the if you want to call them the deep state side,
Right.
and they are still putting their narrative out. It's important to see these articles and understand what's being said because we need to know what people are seeing on both sides. We would be remiss if we didn't consider what the other side has to say. We must stay open-minded and we must also understand what the other side of what's going on is saying so that way we can speak intelligently on what they're saying. And like Mikey was saying, it was proven to be false, and that's fine. But still, when we look at those articles, like I'm saying, 2/3, 3/4 the way down, they bury it. It's real small. And so you can point to their own articles about how they are actually disproving the words that are said up higher in the article itself. And that is one of the reasons why we must, kind of follow through with what are they saying? Always be inquisitive. Hope says, we'll never get tired of winning. Thank you, Father God. Chachi says, I think this is all kayfabe. I don't know that one. And Trump is playing it so everyone gets on board with the D class on Epstein and even other countries' involvement in using this honeypot, hence the Russia collusion. Exactly. That's really what it is they're trying to get everybody on board with the release the Epstein information. And this is perfect. This is exactly how this happens. Like I said, all of these things, people are going over to the conservative sites now, and they're actually waking themselves up. They just don't know it. F. Clint says, you got to read the whole. You do got to read the whole thing. It's what the people on the left aren't doing. They're not reading the whole thing. Otherwise, they would be recognizing the fact that the information that's provided somewhere else in the article contradicts what's in the rest of the article. Yeah. That's the point. It tells you that people read the news and they're looking at the news with a predetermined conclusion as to what they're already reading before they read it. So they'll read the first paragraph or two, and we see the style of writing that they use, and that style is very, I would say, propagandistic.
Yeah.
And then the other thing about reading this is looking at what the people are saying in the comment sections when they actually allow the comment sections to be open. Yeah, gotta read the whole thing. Epstein is too big of a story. That's why all this is building up to the release. It's build. I think that this is the build up for that release. That's exactly what this is. We're about at that time, and as they push all of these other candidates as they're trying to regain seats, that's all going to be done through the a lot of those people that are fighting for these seats, the Democrats, their campaigns are going to be toasted by the release of the Epstein stuff because people aren't going to trust anything they say, whether or not the left even has a good candidate.
Right.
That's because the left can't read. They can't meme either.
No.
Anyways, kayfabe is like in wrestling, the play acting out drama between individuals, good guys, bad guys. Okay, there we go. Never heard that before. Shroom.
Well, thank you for coming back.
Thank you for coming back. There we go. Shroom man away. Shrooming away. Okay, there we go. Took me a second there. CIA owns the entire Epstein operation. They aren't going to release anything ever. I see where you're coming from on that. I say that there is a release. It's going to be a carefully curated release.
This right here, what Mikey said.
Trump is making the Democrats beg to release it. Yeah.
Because
you asked for it.
Yeah.
That's an easy one. You asked for it.
You ready? This is also from Drudge.
That would explain the Kevin Spacey thing because he thinks it's gonna. Oh, look, it was everybody else too, and it's not going to be everybody else.
Yeah.
Anyways, MAGA starts to move on from Epstein drama as Trump digs in. Okay. Let's see. Who is this again? What is this news site? Semaphore? Okay.
Hold on, Drudge.
Okay. The news: MAGA may be starting to move on from its infighting over Jeffrey Epstein. FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino, who didn't show up for work on Friday after a fight with Attorney General Pam Bondi and Wade resigning in protest of the administration's handling of the Epstein case, spoke to President Donald Trump over the weekend. He subsequently returned to the office on Monday, though it remains unclear whether he will stay on at the FBI long term. Two sources familiar with the situation told Semaphore. Two sources. So two mysterious sources, okay. And while several prominent Trump-aligned pundits continued to air frustrations with the Justice Department's decision to effectively declare the Epstein matter closed, one of them, TPUSA co-founder Charlie Kirk, said Monday he wouldn't be commenting further. Notably, he also spoke with Trump this weekend, as CNN first reported. The Epstein flap, as of Monday night, now appears to be the latest example of a second Trump term that's been defined by the president's ability to bend GOP lawmakers and his base to his will. Trump made clear that he wants to get past the circular firing squad that the conservative movement descended into last week over the Epstein documents. And so what they're trying to say is that there's all this infighting, that the right is falling apart. This is more of a puff piece for the left to say, oh, look, everything's fine. They're falling apart. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. That's what I'm hearing in this article is look, they're fighting. It's not going to hold together. You don't have to worry about it anymore. We're going to win. We're going to win. They're trying to keep the motivation up for their base. Chachi says Kevin Spacey is an owned white hat asset now. He was crying a while back on late night show, all his properties being liquidated. Think Executive Order 13818. Yep. Let's see. Mike says the Democrats spent 4 years hiding the truth, but we have it all. And this past 4 years, if my intuition serves me correctly, was to actually get the rest of them. They had the main players already. We were already seeing masks. How long was Biden's presidency in before he fell up the stairs like Jim Carrey?
Right.
Yeah. How long was that? It wasn't very long at all.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that were really weird over the past 4 years.
Yeah.
But now guess what we're finding out? Who the corrupt people were that were doing the auto pen stuff. And I know we're going to get to that a little bit later.
Yeah.
These are the people that we were finding over the past 4 years. Mikey says Elmo's X account was hacked the other day. Elmo's. Like Elmo, the
puppet?
The puppet?
Or who?
Yeah, I'm assuming.
Okay, another one from Drudge. You ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead and read that.
The sole rebel Republican who voted to release Epstein files in bold move defying Trump's administration. A lone Republican risked President Donald Trump's ire after voting with Democrats in a bid to release the Jeffrey Epstein files. California Democrat Representative Ro Khanna pushed an amendment to upcoming crypto legislation that would have forced Attorney General Pam Bondi to release all Epstein-related documents. So, curiosity kind of makes me wonder, is there something that we're going to hear about Roe there? Or are we not going to watch that video? Or is that?
Oh, no, that doesn't go with this.
Oh, that doesn't go with it? No. Okay. Anyways, so those are certainly things to think about. The game that's being played, why would they cross aisles knowing that that's going to be political suicide as a Republican? You know, granted, is everything all right over there?
I closed the wrong thing.
Oh, no. Oh, no, Mr. Bill. All right. Anyways.
I got it.
All right.
All right.
You want to go ahead and move on then?
Yeah, because I got to pop it up.
Okay. Before you start closing other stuff?
Yeah, before I start closing other stuff.
All right.
Last thing from Drudge.
All right. Oh, geez.
Yeah, it's CNN.
The words. Okay. From CNN, Trump flails as Epstein storm rages around his government. Yeah. Hunched back, looking sad, dark. The imagery, it's so propagandistic.
Yeah.
CNN, Donald Trump very rarely loses control of his own story, but the Jeffrey Epstein saga is beyond his powers to quell. It's now it's a new twist for the president, being at odds with the loudest and most conspiratorial faction of his MAGA movement. For once, he's becoming the victim of an out of control conspiracy, not the initiator of one. He looks like the insider covering up, not the ultimate outsider and deep state destroyer. Yeah, they do hate Trump. Oh, I was having fun with that.
That's enough. It just keeps going on and on about
I was having fun.
awful he
I would
is.
love to narrate the crap that comes out of CNN.
Yeah.
It is. The problem with Drudge is that when he sold it, it started switching a long time ago. Long time ago.
But the reason why we're showing both sides is because we want to see what they're saying.
Mhm.
Because if
We need to
just-
know what they're saying.
Yeah, if we just stick to the conservative side, we're not seeing what they're saying. So as you can see, they're ridiculous. Trump lives rent free in their heads,
Mhm.
and they're just trying to make it sound like, he's just lost it all.
Mhm. And keep in mind, in the intelligence community, most of the information is open source. The other side is always telling you, and we're going to get better at this in terms of sharing the information, getting the highlights, because we are trying to do something a little bit different. Two wings, one bird, and it really gets highlighted when you look at them side by side. And we're going to get a lot better at this. We're still practicing. We were trying to get it figured out before, and we figured, you know what, screw it. We're just going to go back on the air and just figure it out while we get there. So thank you while we figure out how we're going to be doing all this crap moving forward in the future. But the good thing is you're starting to get an idea of the concept, but you're only hearing the propaganda side. But like I was saying, a couple days ago, by hearing the propaganda on one side, it makes it easier to hear that same type of propaganda style of communication on the other side. And so the benefit to that is you end up hardening yourself against fake information because you're seeing how everybody's talking. And so it makes it a little bit easier to try to take the nuggets of truth, because if you see one article from the left and one article from the right, or Liberty Daily and Drudge, and you see those, the common pieces of information between those two articles are the actual truth that both are willing to actually admit. Both sides also tell truths that the other side does not want pointed out. What is in our best interest to understand what possible truths and untruths are? The only way to do that is to look at all of the information available to us. Trump had a huge win with the Supreme Courts and able to fire government employees and also the schooling system. It's awesome. I agree. That was it was a big deal for this to happen. The Department of Education was certainly a way to not only funnel money to specific ideologies that weren't necessarily in line with what the average American voter has. Thank you, Mikey. I appreciate that tremendously.
So very much.
Mike's, I'm going to jump off my little rant here. Mike says, two wings of the same bird with the same agenda. Yeah.
And don't forget what Mikey said.
And
thank you for what you do. Love y'all.
Thanks, Mikey.
And thank you for that
We
Rumble
appreciate
rant.
that.
We
Yeah,
truly
thank you for the
appreciate
Rumble
it.
rant.
It means the world to us.
It does. It really does.
Mhm.
So remember, we want to get as much truth as possible. And the only way to do that is to listen to the other side.
Mhm.
It is a historic win, 100%. And then Liberty says, you folks already know all you need to know. Be a conservative, change what you can, and don't worry about what you can't change. 100%. Amen on that one.
Yep.
Amen on that one.
So
We just this is the biggest thing about all of this is it's interesting, and we'd all like to know what's coming down the pipeline through the news sources and everything, but we need to focus on ourselves. We can't fix Jeffrey Epstein, whether he's alive or dead. We can't fix Kevin Spacey. We can't fix all of these names that have been thrown out there through any of this. it's not within our power. So what do we have the power to do? We have the power to focus on ourselves and work on our own development and our relationship with our creator, because that's the only thing we can really work on.
And I want to let you know, Chops is over on Pilled.
Hey, Chops. Thanks for joining, Chops.
You ready?
Yeah.
How about some Kelly?
All right, let's do Kelly.
Let's listen.
All right, let's think about this for a minute. If God always did what you wanted, you wouldn't really be worshiping God, would you? You'd be worshiping a divine vending machine. But that's not trust. That's manipulation. Oh, son, are you ready for this? It's time for the verse of the day. Proverbs 3:5 tells us, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. So again, I say, if you're only trusting God when life is easy, you're not really trusting God. You're just vibing with your own plan and slapping God's name on it. God, I trust you with all my heart, until he does something that we didn't vote for. Then suddenly it shifts to, Lord, what is this? This is not what we discussed. Sound familiar? God, I totally trust you with everything, my whole heart. But can you also make it happen, exactly how I imagined it? Oh yeah, I need it by Friday with free shipping, please. No. That's not trust. That's customer service. Proverbs 3:5 does not say, trust in the Lord when it feels right. Trust in God, if that's what you were planning to do anyway. Trust in God until he does something weird, and now you're confused and low-key offended. No. What it said was, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. He's telling you right there, you are not going to understand this. It is not going to make sense to you. But trust me anyway, because I see what you don't. And I know you better than you. Trust me. You see, real trust shows up when everything else is falling apart. You want to know what real trust looks like? When your life is a dumpster fire, you don't reach for the fire extinguisher. You grab the s'mores instead. Real trust doesn't walk away. It digs deeper. I know we think of our lives like a movie, and we want everybody to follow the script. But trust gets tested when things go off script. When doors close that should have opened. When the right person leaves. When the healing happens in heaven, not on this earth. When you prayed the right prayer and the answer, that's when God is asking you, do you trust me? Or do you simply trust your idea of me? But Kelly, I thought that God loved us. Oh, my friends, he does. That's why he's not giving you the shortcut, the easy way. That's why he's not doing everything you want, the way you want, when you want. Love doesn't always say yes. Sometimes, God's love will block your plan to protect his purpose. I know. You think it's betrayal, but the truth is, God sees it as surgery. And yeah, surgery hurts. But you know what else it does? It brings healing. Real trust says, I don't get it. Real trust says, I wouldn't have chosen this. Real trust says, but I still believe you're good. I still believe you have a plan, and I'm not letting go. That's trust. So let me encourage you today. Don't lean on your own understanding. It's flimsy. It's fickle. It's limited. It's like using a paper straw to drink lava. God never asked you to understand the plan, my friends. He asked you to trust the one who made it. Don't let your limited understanding sabotage our limitless God. Lean off you. Lean on him. That's trust. And think about that for a minute.
Thoughts?
And if you haven't, go check out Kelly K Ministries. He's amazing. He's got some great books. Very helpful. Anyways, hey, Donnell, how are you doing? All lives matter. Yeah, okay, interesting. Grand evening, everyone. Radiating heart. Much love to all. Much love. Very much so.
Yes. Much love.
Thanks for joining us, new friend. So not leaning on our own understanding. How many times we kind of talked about this yesterday when we were talking about Hey, Steph, thanks for joining. You're not late. Anyways, we need to not think about how we want things to play out. That's never going to help anything out. That's how we end up getting frustrated and confused. Mm-hmm. Look at everything that's going on with this, all of a sudden Epstein never existed kind of crap, right? It's It's nothing that anybody was really expecting. And if they were, kudos to them. But it's nothing that very many people were expecting. And therefore, when these things go in a way that we weren't expecting, it challenges our faith. Don't worry about that. It's gonna get weird. Everything's flipped upside down right now. Or is it flipping right side up? See, that's the real thing is as everything's flipping around, everything's changing. Which direction is the change going? Well, it's been a long time that people have been coming to the understanding that the people who have been in charge and telling us that they're protecting us from all of these bad things that are happening everywhere, to include within all of our cities, are the very people who were the ones propagating these problems within our nation and profiting from it more so than anybody else. So as these kinds of things happen, it's easy to get down into that lower vibrational frequency and worry about, oh my God, it's crumbling. We're going into the apocalypse, blah, 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 blah. Stop. Take a deep breath. Everything's going to be fine. Don't lose your faith. Keep your faith that he is doing everything the best way that it can be done. And it's not our way, it's his way.
Yep.
It's not our way, it's Yah's way. So
Yep.
just take a deep breath and just relax. You have no control over your fate. I mean, after all, Jesus made the prayer, he didn't want to drink the cup, but not his will, God's will, the Father's will.
Yep.
That's a terrible cup to drink.
Yeah. But he did it for all of us.
But he did it. And so many martyrs have drank a similar cup as well. So understand that it may not be all sunshine and rainbows and lollipops and unicorn farts. It might be some rough challenges. But I don't think that's where we're headed. I think that our challenges are maintaining our faith, even though we don't see it actually coming true. We need to challenge all of our doubting Thomases and trust in the Lord and don't put it in a man.
Yeah.
Anyways, Mikey says, God can be in the beginning, middle, or end of whatever he wants. He knows where best to be. Amen, man. He is a riveting speaker. Thanks. Who? Kelly, he is a riveting speaker.
He really is.
Mikey says, the Comey Obama Biden thing DJT is saying about Epstein has me a bit upset. I'm been on this for over 10 years. And how many times has President Trump made a statement that we knew that he knew was 100% opposite of what was going on, and it was done in order to highlight or bring attention to something to get people to start looking at it? See, I'd say that the difference is that there's no new Q posts, and those new Q posts were the things that were letting people have that faith that, oh, okay, I see what's going on. We need to reapply that understanding that we had to help us kind of feel like, okay, he's still doing the same thing. We just don't have the crutch. We don't have, that aid to keep us going forward. We've been taught everything that we need to be taught. If you're still following the Q concept, you've already been taught everything you need to be taught. So therefore, understand that they're still playing the game the exact same way they were. And that's both sides. They both have their own way of doing things. It's just we aren't being informed like we were before.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Be calm, because they even said, it's faith in God.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
We're going to move on to ICE.
ICE.
Ready? Would you read that, please?
ICE agents facing increased threats and attacks. Oh, the bottom one.
Yep.
Karoline Leavitt says Democrats should be ashamed of themselves for encouraging attacks on ICE. They should be. They're human beings.
Yep. Let's listen.
Mm-hmm.
Millions of illegal aliens invaded cities like New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles. They stole the benefits that should be going to hardworking, tax-paying Americans, and they committed crimes all across this country, and many American lives have been lost. So now the president has empowered federal law enforcement to actually do the jobs they signed up to do, to remove these public safety threats from our communities. And it is shameful that you have elected leaders who are elected to protect their American citizen constituents who are aiding and abetting this violence against federal law enforcement. You look at Los Angeles and the raid that ICE just conducted on a marijuana facility, 300 illegal criminals were pulled out of that facility, some of them unaccompanied minors. By the way, the Biden administration lost thousands of children that this administration is focused on finding with law enforcement operations like these. And there was also child predators and convicted murderers who were picked up in that operation as well. God bless the men and women of ICE. They are heroes, and they are great men and women who put on that uniform every day and deserve to go home safely to their families at night. And the Democrats who are allowing this violence to take place against them should be ashamed of themselves.
Thoughts?
The violence is shameful. I disagree with the violence. I disagreed with any violence that was done on January 6th, and I still disagree with the violence. That's not the way to do it. Most people, again, watch movies like 300 or Gladiator, and they think they're going to go take on the world because they're John Rambo or whatever kind of, crap is out there, the movies they've been watching, right? And so they think that they need to go do harm to others, when in all actuality we should be avoiding harm to others no matter what. It is either you're peaceful or you're not. And how hard are you going to hold to that peace? And that peace is a Christian concept. How Christian are you when it comes to the 70 times 7? It's a challenging concept. Look, I get it. There's a lot of things that we should be angry about. There's a lot of things that we should not be accepting. But at the same time, the Christian martyrs, when they basically made Rome a Christian nation, the entirety of Rome became Christian under Constantinople. But how much did the Christians go through up to that point in time in terms of their persecution? And they did it through peace. They weren't attacking anybody. As a matter of fact, they were the ones being attacked. And it doesn't mean that we have to be martyrs. No, not at all. But what we are doing is relying on our nation and the apparatus that is there to make sure that this nation does continue to exist and that there is a freedom of religion. Because if we lose that, we're cooked. We're toast.
Yeah.
And that's what these people who are throwing these rocks at these cars, yeah, they're upset that they're taking these people away and they're not getting due process, as if we're supposed to care about people who didn't care about the due process to bring your ass through the front door. And now you want due process? Hey, I've been kind of stealing from the people of your country and I want the benefits of it. Well, if you wanted the benefits of it, why didn't you apply?
Yeah.
Anyways, it's the people that are throwing rocks are the people who are taking that side hook, line, and sinker, and they feel like this is the only way to make it happen is to be violent.
Yeah.
People who choose violence are not what we need. We don't need
Exactly.
violence chosen first. And the people that are doing their job of enforcing the laws, are we or are we not a nation of laws? If we are a nation of laws, then why should we accept the fact that people's first action in coming to this nation is to break the law that we hold so dear?
Yeah. Exactly.
Chop says, so much empty in comment section today.
Over on Pilled.
Over on
yeah.
Pilled. Is it quiet?
It's very quiet.
Yeah,
we've a lot of people watching over there.
Oh,
you
really?
know, and,
Well, hello, everybody on Pilled.
Yeah, go ahead, say something.
Yeah.
It may be because Bethany's not there. I don't know.
Oh.
But yeah, they're quiet over there, but that's okay.
Well, that's okay. Anybody, feel free to chime in.
Yeah.
It's not a little clique or club here, because we understand that all of the different perspectives provide us a better clarity on what we're seeing in a very obscured world.
Right. Yeah, you see the Grand Canyon Lodge was burned down. Anyone ever be there? That'd be me.
You've been to the lodge?
Yeah.
I never been to it.
I was born in Arizona, and that was my dad's one of my dad's favorite places to go, other than just Sedona.
Mm-hmm.
And and it is a very sad week that happened, because the Grand Canyon is absolutely beautiful, and that lodge was something to really see.
Mm-hmm. I've got some.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for saying that.
Yeah, thank you, Silver. And thank you for that. I want to. I don't know the word here.
Praise.
Praise. Yes. Thank you for the
Yes.
praise. Me at a loss for words.
I know. That's why Sedona. Because
It's
Sedona,
beautiful.
it's not only beautiful, but there is I guess, I don't know how to say it. There's a vibe there that
So New Age spirituality, they say there's vortex energy there, and there is an energy that you can feel when you're in Sedona. It is something a little bit different.
Very different.
And if you're into the whole ley lines kind of thing, Sedona is one of those spots where there is a high energy that it emanates from that region.
Right.
We're all in a clique club, Santino. Clowns.
Exactly, Silver. I mean, if you've never been to Sedona,
Spiritual energy.
Put it on your bucket list because
Go, Mikey.
Yeah. Put it on your bucket list.
Yeah, there's something there.
It's definitely
if you're going to go see the Grand Canyon, you're close enough to go Sedona. Yeah.
And both of them will not disappoint.
Neither one of them does. And Flagstaff is beautiful too.
Yeah.
So
you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Can you read that,
I had to
please?
think about it for a second. Department of Homeland Security has begun sending out notices to illegal aliens, informing them that they owe $1.8 million.
Let's listen.
Cha-ching.
The government is sending out these $1.8 million collection notices to individuals here in the United States with a removal order. The one that I have here in front of me says that civil penalties are being imposed under the Immigration and Nationality Act due to your failure to timely depart the United States following a final removal order. It also goes on to say that if you fail to make your payment, the Department of Justice may initiate legal proceedings against you at any time. However, you could avoid payment if you voluntarily depart the United States immediately. Then it goes on to tell individuals that their debt is due on or before an absurd date. Then it says that individuals only have 10 days by which to make this $1.8 million payment. It says here that if you fail to pay the full amount within 60 days from the date of this notice, the Centralized Receivable Service will refer your debts to the U.S. Department of the Treasury's Cross-Servicing Program for collection, at which time additional administrative costs may exceed, guys, get this, 32% will be added to your debt. Administrative costs may change in the future without notice. In addition, Treasury may also take the following actions. Number one, reduce any eligible federal and state payments due to you. Number two, refer your debts to a private collection agency. Number three, refer your debts to the U.S. Department of Justice to initiate litigation. Number four, report the indebtedness to the National Credit Bureaus. And number five, reduce your debts to the IRS as potential income. Guys, this is crazy. The first notice that the government sent about this $1.8 million debt talked a little bit more about a mitigation process and a way for folks to ask for an extension. This notice that I have here in front of me to a client does not say anything about mitigation. It does not say anything about an extension. It's just purely collections, and it's intimidating. For those of you who get such a notice, work with a collections attorney to work something out to the extent possible with the government. Guys, I'm covering all things related to Trump immigration changes. Follow for more.
Thoughts?
I was kind of picking up that she wasn't too keen on this letter getting sent out.
No, she wasn't.
That's interesting. Why? Okay. Out of curiosity, because I understand why it was sent out. It's going to be because how much have you cost each and every American taxpayer during your tenure here? How much does it cost to have all of these ICE agents? How much does it cost to build the wall? How much does it cost to have all of the attorneys and the court systems and the everybody from immigration, everybody from the courts? I'm repeating myself, but it's like a lot of money is spent because you're here illegally.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would not be surprised. I don't know why you'd be surprised by this. And then the other
Clint
thing
has
is
a
it's
question for you.
well, okay, let me get this one statement
Okay.
out. And that is it's like, it's also kind of a message. We know who you are. We know where you're from. We know everything about you. Here, have this, and you can leave now. And that won't be a problem. That's kind of what that letter is. It's
Yeah.
we see you. You might want to go.
Yeah.
Don't make us come and get you. I'd say that these would be the people that aren't the violent criminals. These are the people that they're trying to get and go on their own.
Yeah.
F. Clint says, hey, where's your darn channel emoji? I have no idea because I was looking for it myself. Making people self-reported or deport. I firmly believe that that's what that is it's an encouragement. Where is an illegal alien going to get 1.8 million?
I think that's the point.
Yeah, I think that's the point. You don't have enough money to be here. And then on top of that, we're going to pile this crap on you so that way it follows you all over the planet. You won't be able to buy a house. You won't be able to do anything with credit. So you may as well go back or start bringing some money or any number of things. Obviously, some people are going to go to the lawyers. You know what? That's what the lawyers are there for. My recommendation would have been to have seen the lawyer when you first got here before you got this letter.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I get it. Some of these people have been here for 30 years or more, and they've had kids. Their kids are in the military, all sorts of things. I get it. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do the paperwork at some point in time.
He said, not your, but ours.
Our.
Theirs. They want them. We'll have to work
Do y'all
on
know?
that.
Yeah, I want them. Well, yeah, I'll have to work on that too. Do y'all know if you look at Google Maps, it doesn't say Washington, D.C. It says Washington. Yes. God, I think that's been for a minute now.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat. More than 1 million have already self-deported. Yet we're hearing reports on the left-hand side, on the left, saying that nobody's leaving, nobody's nothing.
Oh, bullshit.
Which one is it?
Yeah.
It's a propaganda game right now, and this letter is certainly an encouragement.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
This is from Drudge.
Okay. West Side Rag.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I got to make the screen bigger. A baseball coach says he fended off ICE agents questioning kids on the Upper West Side.
There you go.
All right. After coaching baseball on the west side of Manhattan for more than 20 years, Human Wilder says he had a first-of-a-kind experience at the end of last month. Wilder was leading a group of 11 middle school and high school kids through a batting cage practice near 72nd Street on Riverside Park when he had an unexpected run-in with United States ICE agents, according to the baseball coach. I go over quickly, and the agents are asking the kids inappropriate things like, where are they from, their country of origin. So I say, whoa. And I tell the officers that their questions are inappropriate and that I'm going to tell my kids not to answer them. Wilder told the rag. Okay. I would have had to have read this article to understand more. But this is.
I did. He's saying that, they're attacking kids and not going to the parents.
Right. And I can understand his concern with that because children are supposed to have an adult present when they are being questioned. Of course, if they're unaccompanied minors, they could be looking for something else. Right. And the fact that he stood up, if it is in fact something wrong and he stepped in and that was the right thing to do, then good for him for doing the right thing. But at the same time, he should also be understanding of the fact that mistakes are going to be made. It's not like the Biden administration was doing so hotsy-totsy with it.
Right.
After all, how many children that they have disappear? Wouldn't it make sense that ICE agents would like try to talk to kids and find out what's going on?
I got a comment for that.
Okay.
F. Clint has something for you.
F. Clint says we want at least 3 fresh ones to boot, 1 for each month. Gone. What?
Emojis.
Oh, emojis. All right, fine. I'll work on it. No litigation attorneys would turn this down. Where's the children? 300,000 a year. Boycott Walmart and all sports, and you know the rest.
And Steph agrees.
Yeah, and Steph agrees.
Four emojis. That's what they want.
Okay, 4 emojis.
And she's cutting up watermelon, and I'm jealous.
We haven't been able to find what seems to be a real watermelon, and I don't know how long.
I know.
I'm glad we're done wasting money on trying to experiment and think that the grocery store is going to have something that's like
edible.
A real watermelon.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
This is also from Drudge.
Salon. Let's see. Their headline is "Cried Every Night. ICE Traumatizes a Child with Leukemia." This story. And so this story, they focus on the fact that the child who was attached to illegal parents, 6 years old. And so they focus on the child as opposed to the fact that the parents brought the child here illegally, or they were here illegally and then had the child in hopes that that he would anchor the parents here. And this is the moral question that so much of America is battling with right now is this kid, it's not his fault. Look, I get it. And they also talk about the kid was not denied any medical anything. A lot of these reports that we're seeing, and they even says it in a lot of these things where like they talk about the cages, it's already admitted that it was worse under Biden. And they admit that the child does receive medical care. They just try to put their spin on it. But at the same time, the truth is in there. And that's what we need to share and say, look, it even says in the article that the child received medical care. They're not going to deny a child with leukemia. If they do, I would be extremely pissed off about that. But at the same time, it's like we have to draw a line somewhere. And it's not to be heartless, so much as there's children here with leukemia that aren't getting it because we're paying our tax dollars to make sure that their kids, the illegal kids who are oppressed, of course, which they are because they're here illegally and they don't have the legal protections that they would have had they come here legally. So yeah, I guess the people that brought them here are oppressing them. I agree with that. But at the same time, they're the ones that are they're so much more at fault. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. So don't get mad at us because they did things that they shouldn't have been doing.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Okay, we got another one from Drudge.
Okay. Who is this? The Guardian again? Bye, brother. Undocumented farm workers feel hunted like animals amid Trump's immigration raids. I love the verbiage that they use. It's not leading at all. Hunted like animals. There.
Oh, we haven't used Steve's sound yet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I will tell you that the way they word this shit is exactly that.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways, ICE raids have caused workers to lose hours and income, force them into hiding at home, according to interviews, where they subsequently got that letter that says that they owe $1.8 million.
Yeah.
All right. Undocumented farm workers feel they're being hunted like animals. They told The Guardian as Donald Trump's administration ramps up its crackdown on immigration. Not illegal immigration, just immigration in general. Never mind, the person from Ghana that I know that has come here since before Trump was in office, started the paperwork, absolutely zero problems or concerns whatsoever getting picked up by ICE. As a matter of fact, just got a green card and is a productive member of society. So I don't think it's immigration that's the problem. They're British rag.
Yeah.
Anyways. It's not immigration. Raids by Immigration and Customs Enforcement have caused workers to lose hours and income and force them into hiding at home, according to interviews, which is what we kind of read earlier. And it wouldn't be the case if they had gone through the front door.
Mm-hmm.
And there would be American workers who would have those jobs. Yeah. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the companies that are willing to hire all of these illegal aliens would actually be forced to pay a proper wage, follow working laws and regulations, and just generally be a benefit to the nation as opposed to a benefit to themselves by hiring illegal labor for less and treating them like slaves. Whatever. I don't know. That's just me. I could be wrong. F. Clint says, if they were hunted like animals, they would be shot through the heart. I mean, there is that.
Yeah.
And I haven't been seeing executions on the streets by ICE agents of people that they have deemed are bad. But I have seen a lot of violence from other people that aren't the ICE agents.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
One more from Drudge.
That's what you said before. America is now a police state, says the Washington Monthly.
Yeah.
If you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And the left, if you're on the left, everything looks like a fascist, whatever. Anyways, and if you have 75 billion over 4 years in new funding for ICE, you, Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, and Tom Homan will use it to fund a huge domestic army to round up 4 million people in the next 3 years and put them in detention centers and deport them.
Yeah.
Or they could just leave.
Yeah.
4 million people. I highly doubt that the numbers are that it's only 4 million. I'm sure that there's a lot more than that because that's a lot of votes that they've been given to people in Cali. But that would also be probably about 2 million more houses that Americans could be living in.
Yeah.
Just an idea.
There
Just
you
an
have
idea
it.
because those are houses that Americans don't get.
Yeah.
Those are jobs that those 4 million jobs Americans don't get. 2 million. We'll go with 2 million. We'll cut it in half. We'll say that they're, got a wife at home and she, cooks and cleans and does all that, good housewife kind of stuff. Anyways, I doubt that.
Right.
So sorry that the people that you were trying to replace Americans with aren't necessarily wanted to be replaced. That Americans don't want to be replaced by the people you're bringing in.
Yeah.
I was thinking 50 million. I don't think we have that many here. My God, we supposedly only have 33. Or no, we got 330 million people here.
Yeah.
Or 40 now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it could be 50. Who knows? They took our gerbs.
Yeah.
F. Clint. Anyways, let's move on.
Are you ready for some Craig?
Yeah.
Okay.
Love Craig.
Let's listen.
All right.
This is where so many people quit. Not in the deep, but in the shallows. Not because they weren't strong enough, but because they didn't know how close they really were. Sometimes the greatest act of faith is not having the strength to start, but having the heart to finish. To do the impossible, you'll need the faith to start small. You'll need the faith to face opposition. And you'll need the faith to endure when it hurts. And finally, you need the faith to finish what God started.
Thoughts?
Got to finish in faith. These are the challenges we're going through. All of these things upset us and they cause a lot of problems for everyday people. These things that we're talking about, because it's denied opportunities for people who by right have that opportunity to work at these jobs, like at the fire extinguisher place in the Carolinas, the pot farm in Cali. We don't need 300 illegals. We got plenty of potheads who can grow some pot in Los Angeles. I'm just, throwing that one out there. That
And
there's
in Las Vegas.
yeah, plenty of people. We probably don't need to import those people because I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that that so many Americans would be happy to work at a pot farm. So, these stresses, because if you don't have a job, these stresses because you're denied medical care, these stresses because whatever the case is, it causes these challenges, and these challenges challenge our faith that God is there for us and that he's working to end this, especially when we hear that President Trump has decided that Epstein never existed or whatever kind of crap that's coming out right now. But it's, again, Don't put your faith in man. Put your faith in God. So finish on with that faith. Stay strong in your faith. It's like going to the gym. You're not going to quit, halfway through a rep. You got to keep, you got to keep through with your exercise. And it's the same thing. It's an exercise in faith. You keep that faith no matter how terrible everything looks in your life. It may be crumbling around you all over the place. It could be your family. It could be your spouse. It could be your kids. It could be all of that, your job, their job, everybody's job. And you don't know whether or not you're going to have a house in the next month or two. But you know what? Keep the faith. Keep the faith that God wants your life to be better and that you don't need to have a negative response. Your only job is to keep your faith. Like the footprints in the sand, he carries us in those hard times. And we need to recognize that he's carrying us. Don't lose your faith then. F. Clint says, you really want some faggoty ass left handling your pot? I mean, bruh. They're like the total weed guys, and they do such a good job. Thank you, Silver.
You ready?
Yeah.
Would you read that, please?
I need a monocle.
I know.
All right. My protest is noted. Thank you. Scott Jennings makes the brief case for President Trump to win the Nobel Peace Prize.
Let's listen.
Here we go with the Nobel Prize again.
If they don't give Donald Trump the Nobel Peace Prize, it'll be an absolute travesty. A lot of people like to talk about war and peace. He talks about peace and war. I think he absolutely 100% wants to bring peace to this world. I think he's doing it. I remember when they gave Barack Obama the Nobel Peace Prize. I think it was in 2009. You might remember that he was only elected president in 2008. It was purely aspirational. No reason at all other than he had won an election. Well, now Donald Trump's won 2 elections. And the entire time he's been focused on bringing peace to the world. The Abraham Accords in the first term, now in the second term, expansion of peace in the Middle East, defeating the Iranian terror regime, making the courageous decision to strike the Iranians. He deserves a Nobel Peace Prize.
Thoughts?
He's going to end up getting a Nobel Peace Prize, but it'll bring some credibility back to it after they gave that thing to Obama. And I think that that's yet one more thing. Clinton's, Obama, Epstein Island, that the circle is kind of already there, and most people already know who the big players were. And this is one of those things that will help clean out the Peace Prize, provided that we really don't have a war. It could have been easy for President Trump to just go full war mode on Iran, especially when there were a couple of little curious things that happened right after we dropped some bombs. I think that there were some very overzealous Iranian agents that were here that didn't get the memo not to do anything. And so there were some things, and I'm sure that they talked about it in the Iranian press. But the thing is President Trump had a casus belli to go there. But chose not to use it. And these are the kinds of things that we have fought for. Traditional American values. Let's go back to when John Adams was president and the French were fighting to put us in their war against the British. And it was John Adams who had to sign the Alien and Sedition Act. Kind of had to use that one again recently, haven't we? But France was literally trying to drag us into war with Britain. We did not want to go to war because we want to be peaceful merchants and farmers.
Yeah.
That's what this nation is supposed to be. And as we get involved, and one of the reasons for people coming here was to get rid of and get away from the endless European wars. And that's what they were saying back in the 18th century, 1700s, is we want to get away from the endless wars of Europe. But we still want to get away from the endless wars in Europe. We just seem to be keep getting drug in. Well, now the good thing is it looks like we might actually have a president who's going to try to keep us out of the wars. And I pray that this is the way that we continue to move forward. And that would be exactly what this nation needs. We need to do things peacefully. And throwing rocks at the cops ain't the best way to do things peacefully. Don't expect peaceful things to happen to you. There's a difference between peaceful and weak. And people are about to find out that difference. F. Clint says, you probably could have gotten a monocle cheap on Prime Day. Yeah, I know. Yeah, actually, it's Trump's 3rd term. Yeah, I think most everybody here is in agreement with that one.
You want to explain sun gazing? They're asking what it is.
Sun gazing. There are lots of things on the internet about sun gazing. I followed the process as best as I could, but the place where we live now is very difficult to see the early morning sun. But right when the sun hits the horizon, I was looking at the sun. It's interesting. It's your own, it's your own free will if you choose to sun gaze. I don't know. I kind of liked what was happening. I just haven't had the chance to sun gaze for a while now.
Right, because of where we live.
Yeah, but you're on your own. I'm not going to endorse it whatsoever. But I think that if it's something that you're led to do, then, I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah.
But I still have my eyesight, and I was doing it for at least a couple of months.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing. But again, look into it.
At your own risk.
Yep.
Real men sun gaze at noon. All right, F. Clint. Well,
you're crazy, F. Clint. Are you ready?
Yes.
Would you read that, please?
Jeez. Raw milk is banned in so many places, but a neon blue energy drink is fine. Boy, ain't that the truth?
That's very true.
Okay, ground yourself barefoot while sun gazing. I will say, yeah, that's one of the things I heard, and that was one of the things I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's listen.
Think about this for a second.
Yeah, do your own research.
Raw milk is banned in so many places because it's so dangerous. But a neon blue energy drink is absolutely fine. Feed it to your kids. No problem. Like what? So the real question is it about safety or is it about control? Because at the end of the day, if you can get milk straight from the source and feed your family without a barcode, then that's the problem, isn't it? You're not a customer anymore. And that's the real threat.
Thoughts?
That is a very rational argument. Why? Why can we have these weird things that so many people are known to get kidney stones for? Why is that acceptable? But some natural product may be a little weird because it's milk and some people are weirded out by drinking, stuff from cows' tits, but whatever. It's, what human beings have been doing. And it even talks about it in the Bible, the land of milk and honey. So maybe there's something there, next thing you know, they're going to be telling us honey is bad for you. Mm-hmm. What is power monocle 1.5 or 2.0?
Your strength. 1.5.
No, I have no idea. I'm just being a smart ass.
It's 1.5. That's what your readers are.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, they're your readers. I just don't wear them because I broke mine and hers has they're bedazzled. I want to wear bedazzled glasses on.
Get him a 10X.
Give me a 10X. No, don't. The devil is the true manipulator.
Yes. Amen to that.
Yeah. Well, think about it. This is natural. You shouldn't do that. How many times have we heard that? What do you think we should actually be doing? Doing the natural things.
Yes, Jenny.
Yes, Jenny. Get local honey because that is what helps you with your allergies. Because they're using the pollen from your region. And yeah, you can actually buy the bee pollen and use that. And I've heard from many people that bee pollen is extremely helpful for getting rid of allergies.
Yes.
And organic and raw. Yep.
Yes.
Will do, Mike.
See, Jenny's like, exactly. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Would you read that, please?
Jeez. President Trump heads to Pennsylvania to launch America's AI future.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
President Donald Trump will be on campus later today for the first ever Pennsylvania Energy and Innovation Summit. We know he's supposed to arrive around 2:30 this afternoon, along with multiple other people who are notable. We're talking about several cabinet members, as well as Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro and world leaders in energy and AI for more than 60 companies around the world. Now, this event aims to highlight Pennsylvania's potential to lead the artificial intelligence revolution. So ahead of today's summit, Republican Senator Dave McCormick unveiled a $70 billion investment in AI and energy across Pennsylvania. This investment will include construction of data centers, which require a great deal of energy to power artificial intelligence. One project is set to target Aliquippa, and the president of RIDC says this investment will bring jobs, boost the economy, and even more. Take a listen, though, to what CMU's director of the Machine Learning Department had to say.
it's going to just make it easier and easier for future innovators, for future entrepreneurs to stay in the area, to build up companies in AI and other tech areas in the region, because the talent, the rest of the ecosystem that's needed to support those companies is already going to be here.
Thoughts?
Rise of the robots is imminent. Problem is all those things take significant amounts of electricity. And that's why so many brownouts are happening. That's why the power grid is stressed. And that's why they want to bring nukes back. Yeah, they're actually talking about putting nukes back on 3 Mile Island. Well, that's worked out so well the first time. Let's do that again. Because we need computers. I don't know how many of y'all have seen the movie.
Electric cars are not going to have electricity. So.
I don't know. Anyway, I don't know how many of y'all have seen Wall-E, but this is how we get to Wall-E, where there's a bunch of fat people on floating hover rounds,
doing nothing,
doing absolutely nothing all day, everything, because the computers do it all. It sounds like a life completely devoid of any kind of enjoyment, as you do absolutely nothing, and the computers do it. Like, why exist?
Yeah.
Why exist if you're going to do nothing? Well, do something. And why do we need robots to replace people in jobs? See, the thing is, people need a job. People need that stuff. It does make things better. It really does.
Yeah.
It's just that people want something for nothing. Everybody wants to live like royals. And nobody wants to, do the work for it. Everybody wants everything handed to them. And so the thought of having robots do everything is kind of nice, but in the end, where's the creativity if AI is doing all of it? It's uninspired. Anyway, whatever. Too many regulations. They're removing the regulations. F-Clan says, depending on what side of the Mandela effect you're from, the Monopoly guy doesn't have a monocle. Yeah, well, he had a monocle in my reality. Since when doesn't the Monopoly guy have a monocle? That one happened 5-6 years ago.
Yeah. And then this one?
F-Clan, speaking of that, I saw an old picture of Land O'Lakes butter and no more Indy. Yeah, the Indian was removed.
Yeah.
Because racism.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mike says, we will never build another big nuclear power plant. Too many regulations. I think that the nuclear technology has improved significantly. And now they have the ability to supposedly use the spent uranium rods to draw all of the energy out of them until it's gone. That's what they're telling us. I don't know. They tell us a lot of things. Whatever. Chachi says, I think that 3 Mile Island and even Chernobyl were false flags. Chernobyl folks had YouTube channels going there for years, riding motorcycles. I've never seen any of those. Anyway.
Exactly. So crazy. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Apparently not. Nuke is pretty clean. I think it even happens naturally. We want the mini reactors. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, that's what they're working for. One of those gifts from Bill Gates.
Let's listen.
Yeah.
Only God can give you himself and that be enough. God is going to take care of us. God is going to be there for us. God is going to meet every single one of our needs. He promises to do that. And that's beautiful. Whatever you need, I can guarantee you that's the side of God that's getting ready to show up in your life. God, the provider, God, the healer, God, the waymaker, God, the rescuer, God, the defender, God, the advocate, the one who publicly fights and defends you. What side of God are you getting ready to meet? Well, how will I know? What do you need? God is getting ready to show up just like that in your life. God really is my provider.
Thoughts?
God is our provider. It's about whether or not we can get out of our own way to be able to allow him to provide for us. But our emotions, our anger, all of these things that are counter to what his son, his one and only son, came down here to teach us, was with love, and when we're not acting according to that, and following the law that he has given us, then we find ourselves in lots of bad situations. And so God wants to show up. We just got to get out of his way, because he wants to bless us more than we even know how to even ask for. So the put up the thing there about Aunt Jemima. It was actually the exact opposite, and it should be offensive. Oh, you mean the enterprising black lady that got removed from her product by racists? Yes, that's exactly what I'm getting at, F. Clem.
Yes.
Yes, that's exactly it.
So ridiculous. Oh, are you ready?
Yeah.
That just irritates me. Can you read that, please?
Russiagate docs Patel found. Hold on, I got to blow this up.
Okay.
All right. Russiagate docs Patel found after Comey FBI locked the key may aid grand conspiracy inquiry.
Going to listen?
Yes.
Okay.
Joining us now, a man who's been at the forefront of trying to finally get Americans out of accountability, whether it's in the medical community, the FBI, or in the assassination and Secret Service records. He represents the great state of Wisconsin. He's the chairman of the most powerful investigative body in the Senate. He is Senator Ron Johnson. Senator, great to have you back on the show.
Well, John, hello, man. Hope you're doing well.
We are, sir. I want to ask you about this story we wrote about this morning. The FBI a few weeks ago opened a grand conspiracy probe looking at the entire last decade, from Hillary Clinton being cleared to Jack Smith pursuing Donald Trump, as one ongoing conspiracy to hijack the powers of the government, weaponize them against one side, and protect the other side, even when they had criminal liability. Your thoughts on that approach and whether it lends itself to a special prosecutor?
Well, John, I don't know what your thoughts are, but you know as much about this as I do, and I've felt these people are criminals for many years now. I mean, the fact that they knew this was the whole Russiagate was a conspiracy hatched by the Clinton campaign back in 2016. The President Obama was briefed on that. I mean, they all knew. The fact that in Michael Horowitz's Inspector General report on the FISA abuse, that under a redacted footnote, totally contradicted what was in the body of the report, that the FBI knew that, for example, one of the sources of the Steele dossier was somebody they were investigating as a Russian spy. Again, they knew all these things. So how they could move forward with the multi-million-dollar Robert Mueller special counsel investigation, I mean, they put America through unbelievable, really historic political turmoil, knowing that the entire narrative was completely false. So you follow that all the way through to the 50-plus intelligence officials claiming that the Hunter Biden laptop was, had all the earmarks of a Russian information campaign, when they had to know, because the FBI had possession of that computer, that no, it was a real computer, it had real information on it. So again, when you've been at the heart of these investigations like you and I have, again, I've just viewed these people as criminal for years.
Yeah. Senator, as John laid out in his reporting, and the left protects their own, and people like Hillary Clinton at the inception of this possible conspiracy, operated with impunity, it seems like. So the left is going to fight back tooth and nail. What does that look like in the face of multiple different venues, multiple different investigators, multiple different possible crimes? How do they fight back against that?
Well, again, I thought John Durham seemed to be a pretty honorable investigator. But we were always told that, he's only going to indict if he believes he can get a conviction. And his venue for indicting would be D.C. And I think he realized it's impossible to get a conviction against a Democrat politician when you've got 90% plus of the D.C. jury pool, pretty strongly Democrat supporters. So, you can convict somebody, a Republican.
Military's the only way.
People like the Trump administration officials that actually went to jail, but you can't lay a hand on a Democrat. So I've always suspected John Durham probably had the goods to indict, but he just simply wouldn't do it because he knew he couldn't convict in D.C.
Yeah. Well, one of the things being discussed in this plan is to move this to Florida, where Jack Smith operated for quite a few times, and view that as part of the conspiracy, raiding Mar-a-Lago, things like that. Does a venue change potentially change the picture for prosecutors and what they could potentially accomplish. And then also, you mentioned both Durham and Horowitz, the two guys. There are classified annexes to the reports that have been secret for 8 years. I know you would like to see them declassified, but President Trump, get your thoughts on that as well.
And he probably should. I believe I've seen one of those annexes. Again, when you see this stuff, it's like, what are you trying to protect? I mean, they always say sources and methods, and I generally just roll my eyes at that. So anyway, I do believe, and I said this from the minute I heard that they may be investigating this, is unless you have a change in venue, it probably doesn't make any sense to investigate. Kind of a John Durham approach. If all you're going to do is investigate, and then DC's your venue, don't even waste your time. Except for the fact that I do believe the first step in political accountability is exposure, and it might be worth just exposing all of this. But as I said earlier, we've known about this. I mean, this has been exposed. It's been out in the public domain. Of course, the corporate, the legacy media doesn't report on it, but we've known about the corruption of people like John Brennan, of James Comey, these other individuals, the corrupt actors, Hillary Clinton. These are corrupt, bad people that, unfortunately, because they're radical leftists, they're Democrats, they by and large get a pass in the mainstream media.
Okay.
Ad.
Yeah, ads.
Thoughts?
All right. So I said it a little bit earlier. Military is the only way. He's talking about change in venue. Of course, he says Florida. He's not going to, I mean, you say right now, oh, it's going to be military tribunals. But at the same time, with the amount of corruption that's out there, military judges are beholden to the Constitution probably a little bit more than your average anybody else out there. So, and they're going to be extremely well versed in it. And I believe that when it comes to politicians, that the judicial system, when so many bad actors have been popping their head up, playing a political game at the very least, if nothing else, that's what I see. The military is very good about staying neutral and in the middle, because the military knows, especially the leadership in the military and those who are going up and up in the military, understand you're going to have people from one party for 4 years, and then the next 4 years it could be somebody completely different. And honestly, people could be caught, stepped down. The military cares about the Constitution. That's responsibility. It'd also be why the bad actors like Obama and company always went after the military, trying to make it the social experiment, to flood it with a bunch of the people who were more concerned about their own egotistical pursuits as to whether or not they're even a man or a woman. Those are the people that they want in there because they know that they can trust those people. Well, that's not the military culture. That's not the culture of protecting the Constitution of the United States. Now, does it mean that people who are trans can't be very pro-Constitution? No, as a matter of fact, they could be more pro-Constitution than so many other Americans. But the difference is that's why they were putting these people in there, because generally they hate everything, and so they're part of that group, the very small-minded people that think everybody should think exactly like them because they're the exact opposite of everything that ever was, is kind of how I see it. Clearly they know better. Just ask them, they'll tell you. So it's something that's going, it is going to have to change venue, but these investigations that are going on are just things that are going to end up getting tossed into what I'm assuming would be military tribunals. I don't know. We'll see. Mike says, only if Trump signs the Insurrection Act and suspends habeas corpus. Yes, but at the same time, he keeps calling these people invaders.
Yeah.
That is a precedent. He is setting a precedent. And I'm not hearing too much of an objection. If nothing else, the legal term, I forgot the Latin for it, but silence is consent. And if the left isn't saying anything about it, then that means that they consent, that these people are in fact invaders. It's really easy to make that case, that it is an invasion from a foreign army. They do that themselves by waving a foreign nation's flag as they're attacking officers of the government. So It's not that hard. I think it's just everybody's waiting for somebody else to do something stupid. But the stupidity has been going on so long, somebody's bound to do something stupid because they're going to be the person to want to kick the whole thing off.
Yeah.
Silver says they're called belligerent occupiers. Who's a belligerent occupier? In the Law of War manual. Okay, there you go. Well, that sounds about right. Anyone notice Dan Scavino has been very quiet lately on X? I have not. Of course, then again, I haven't been doing social media at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah. I have
Be
to check it out
very
now.
careful how you read this. Use.
Wish we'd stop putting those candles up. Anyways, Dan Scavino has been straight up missing. True that, but to get rid of the corrupt politicians.
Yeah.
He hasn't been absent on Truth Social. Okay.
Okay, maybe
Thank
he's
you,
just
Lindsay.
using that more.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
There you go. Silvers.
Belligerent occupiers are the enemies who pose as politicians, judges, etc.
Yeah.
We might have one or two of those.
One or two, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Ready?
A lawyer, I have no idea. Okay. New research reveals critical timeline for the Rona jibber jabber unalives.
There you go.
All right. So this is a very good article, but just hitting some of the highlights here. Analysis of the related
Jibber
jabber unalives. Research team analyzed the records from over 21 million individuals, identifying patterns following the jab through Freedom of Information requests. And then it goes down, go down further because it says basically, let's see, it boils down to, I think it's after, okay, number 2, peak risk period. The study found that the highest risk occurs within 60 to 120 days after the second and subsequent doses. This peak period is marked by significant increase in mortality rates, which then gradually decrease over time. One of the most reassuring findings is that the risk returns to normal levels 1 year after the final jibber jabber. This means that for individuals who have had it, the heightened risk of unaliving subsides after a year. For those who have surpassed this period, the study suggests that they no longer face an increased risk due to the jibber jabber. And then it goes down a little bit more, and they are pressing the cognitive decline. I'm not seeing anything that's countering that right now, but I am going to say that this is good news. And for the and here's the beautiful thing about this article, and this is why I really wanted this out. Is there's a lot of people who are afraid to have this conversation. And can we put that on something so people can access it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Let everybody know. Anyway, so
and I put 2 other videos in the Telegram chat because they're long videos and I think everyone should watch them.
yes.
They're too long to play here.
So my point is that nobody wants to have the conversation about that because people are already pissed off that they got something that they didn't want and they were coerced compelled to get that or lose their job. And so they did it once and then they were like, never again. Those people don't want to have a conversation because they're living in fear of all the problems because they've been hearing about it too. The people who have gotten multiple ones, the people in the medical profession are deathly afraid of this, especially as everybody's talking about Nuremberg 2.0. That's going to make people a little uncomfortable that are in the medical field that were pressing, you need to get this, you're a terrible human being, and you're going to kill Granny, blah. All the crap that they told us. They have to sleep with themselves at night and they don't want to think about it because they're thinking that they're mass murderers, and they are, don't get me wrong, to an extent, because they pushed an experimental thing on everybody that most people didn't want, and they found out that they were the Nazis that they so love calling other people.
Yes.
that they disagree with. So they're finding out who they really are. So people want to bury their head in the sand. But with articles like this that says is, okay, if you stopped doing that over a year ago and you didn't lose any of your patients, you're not quite the terrible human being that you were worried that you were going to be. You're still not good because you were pushing something, but we can't learn from the mistakes if people aren't able to forgive themselves. And so when there is a period where these problems are done, then people can start to feel okay with themselves, that repentance is able to happen a little bit more, because people aren't trying to avoid the conversation about how terrible they are about forcing experimental drugs on people. So by giving people this hope, it will give us the opportunity to have the conversation. This is probably the most significant article off of such a wide breadth that covers so many people, millions of people. It says that this seems to be the case right now. Please, let's start the conversation, because this article is the most important thing since they forced us to do it, because it lets us know people can take a breath. And that we need to make sure that this doesn't ever happen again. That is the number one goal, is to make sure that we don't have a Nuremberg 3.0. Anyways, Chachi says, I think DJT already signed the Insurrection Act in his first term. He's not required to say he did to the public in time of war. Thank you, Chachi, for bringing. They still make us do stupid words to try to get around algorithms. Yeah, the hokey pokey, pikey dokey.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I want to know what he means by that.
By what?
Read the comment.
I guess I was just terrible. Why were you terrible?
Why were you terrible?
Why were you terrible? Because you told people what you were told to do, that you had to get the jibber jabber? Doesn't necessarily mean you're bad. You're not the medical professional.
Yeah.
Those are the people who are more liable, because they're the ones, if I'm not mistaken, before they give something to their patient, I would assume that they might want to read through all of the data and the paperwork. After all, that's why you spend 8 years in medical school, so you can understand all of those fancy words and all of those diseases. And you have your doctor Google.
Oh, okay.
I was a terrible person when I killed grandma because I didn't take it. Oh, jeez.
Me too, Mike. Me too.
Yeah, whatever the case. And well, we're finding out that maybe we were the ones that they should have been listening to all along.
Yeah, imagine that.
Anyway, yeah, the doctors need to start doing their job and utilizing that very expensive degree that they charge everybody way too much money to go see them for about 35 seconds while they have their assistants deal with all of you people, the unwashed masses.
Raise your hand if you're with Mike and you were terrible. It's okay.
Me too.
Me too. Me too. All of us. It's okay. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Healthy-ish for over here, you know, I guess.
See, we're all. We're all.
Yeah, all of us here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jenny.
See? It is what it is. You ready?
We got to have the open conversation.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. And that article says, stop beating yourself up. We have this will help people forgive themselves. And if people can forgive themselves, again, we can prevent something like this from happening again. And that is the most important thing.
Yep. You ready?
Yes.
Can you read that?
Liberty Death sitting on his hands. Yes. RFK Jr. announces major changes coming to U.S. nutrition guidelines with emphasis on protein.
Emphasis. Ready?
Yes.
Let's listen.
All right.
We are going to be there for the dairy industry. I grew up in a world where milk was the healthiest thing that you could eat. There's been
Does the body good.
Attack on whole milk and cheese and yogurt over the past couple of decades. And Brooke and I, our agencies are about to release new dietary guidelines in the next several months that will elevate those products to where they ought to be in terms of contributing to the health of our children. There's a tremendous amount of emerging science that that talks about the need for more protein in our diet and more fats in our diet. And there's no industry that does that better than this industry. So I'm very grateful for this industry for stepping up, not only on this, but over the past 10 years, they've removed 60% of the sugar from milk products in school lunches. They've pledged to continue to reduce the amount of sugar in the food. This step is an extraordinary step, and I'm very proud to be part of this partnership. I'm very, very grateful to the industry. There are many.
Ah, there we go.
Thoughts?
Damn, I was trying to get that typed out real quick. Damn it. Thank you for your patience. All right. Protein. Eat more protein. Yay. Food pyramid's going to change. I guess they're going to take sugar out of one of the necessary items. I remember they had changed it during the Biden years to something like we had a sugar group now or something stupid like that. Listen to your body. And this is one of the other things. This is one of the things that's going to make people dumb with the whole AI thing. And this kind of bothers me because RFK Jr. is talking about having to wear a wearable to tell us about how well we slept and how well we ate. I don't need that because I need to think for myself and I need to understand what my body says. And I know a lot of people aren't present enough to actually feel as to what's going on in their body, but it's an important skill. And that's what we should be teaching is what is your body telling you? Do you feel like you need an apple? Do you feel like you need protein? What is it that you think you need? What is it that your body's looking for? These are important things we should be asking ourselves, because if we aren't asking ourselves these things, then we are relying on other people when we already have the systems in place to let us know how we feel. So I think it's good. I think that I know that we're moving forward, but there's also the potential to move very far backwards if we aren't paying attention to our own selves.
Right. I need to answer Silver's question.
Okay. What's the
says,
quality of life living in Las Vegas? I know it has a lot of financial benefits. Where?
Okay. So here's the thing. Meaning versus California, yes, it is cheaper here. But what comes with that? Terrible weather.
You have to chew your air before you breathe. Of course, that's like LA. They brought that. Thanks, Callie.
Terrible water that sometimes smells like straight up bleach.
It's the third worst water in the nation.
Correct.
And it has plenty of hexavalent chromium in it. Just look it up because the reports are out there. Yeah.
Terrible food.
Well, no, the food can be good. It just
you can't get a good watermelon here to save your soul.
Yeah, you got to go to the strip. You got all the good foods at the casinos and the restaurants.
Yes.
It's difficult to find it at the
hateful, mean people.
Well, hold on. Let's not bash the damn city.
Okay.
The city is based on the 7 deadly sins. People are naturally going to be unhappy. That's how that kind of works. It is a modern Sodom, right? And so it's going to have not only the freedom to do whatever it is you feel you want to do, but it's also going to have the problems associated with it. And that's not the way Vegas was. I know that Vegas is changing every day. It is a beautiful town, and the mountains around and all of the natural wonders. There's 3 national parks within
there are
less than an hour drive
about Vegas. The mountains are absolutely beautiful when you can see them through the smog. But there are a lot of things like, go ahead, read that.
My sister lives in Vegas and she's so regretting moving there, but her husband's a dentist and he won't budge. Okay. I can understand that when you have a client base, you might not want to go. And it's kind of, I grew up here as from 7th grade until I graduated. My family's been here since the 40s.
Yeah.
It's home to me. Yeah. It's kind of what I know. Now, with that being said, I'm a native Texan. I love Texas. So I'm kind of, all over the place. I love this country.
We loved San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
Even 29 Palms was awesome.
I did like 29 Palms.
Oceanside. We've been a lot of places.
Living in Vegas, if you lose all your money at the casino, you ain't got very far to get home.
That's true.
Sadly, it happens a lot. And that would
Yeah.
explain a lot of the homeless. And the casinos used to kick people out before that happened. And those people were not encouraged to say. Once the corporates moved in, money became more of a concern. The old school people who own stuff, back in the day, they still kind of run things the old way a little bit, but their hands are tied. They can't do it like they used to. But it's filled with people who love gambling and all of the things. Damn strip club chicken fingers. Yeah. Rambo, what's going on, man? Wait, where the hell you guys been? Hey, friends. Hey, friend. How you doing, man?
Hey, we missed you.
We missed you too, man. It's we had to work on us. We had a lot of work to do, and we had to work through a lot of things that have been going on in our lives for a long time.
That's where we're moving, Rambo.
Oh, congratulations, man. Yeah, definitely want to get out to Florida.
Yeah, that's where we're moving.
Definitely want to get out there. But,
Yeah.
We're here in Vegas until he leads us out of wandering in the desert.
There you go.
We'll get to the promised land. Mikey says, can we talk about flooding in like half the country? Who's playing their harp? It sure is highlighting a lot of stuff. And we talked about it a little bit yesterday.
Bless you, Rambo. Thank you.
Thanks, Rambo. I appreciate that. Brother.
Oh, that is definitely going to happen
That's the
as
goal.
soon as we get out there.
It's the goal.
So you better answer the phone when we call you unless you've changed your number.
So where were we at? What were we talking? What was I talking about? I forgot.
We were the food. That's what we just were talking about with RFK Jr.
Oh, listen to your bodies. All right, good. Let's move on.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's listen.
Oh, if we're going across the country, when we're going across the country, we're going to try to stop by and see as many people as we possibly can.
Yeah, Don and Carol, Brother Bill. Yeah.
Yeah. If y'all have us, we'll stop by. Aaron, I know he wants us to stop by. And he's, running around. We'll see what happens.
You ready?
Yes.
Let's listen.
We think, I got to do this. I got to make it happen. And now we're nervous. And now we got no lining in our stomach. And now we got no friends because they don't want to hear us complain anymore. And now we got nobody else to call because they don't have our answers anyway, because we think we've got to do this by ourselves. And so there are situations in your life right now where you're thinking about how hard it is going to be, how hard it is going to be in this next season, in this next stage, how hard it is going to be for me to make it through this period that's coming up, how hard it is going to be for me to go into this meeting next week, how hard it is going to be for me to deal with my kids if I can't deal with them now, how am I going to deal with them in 3 years? How hard it is going to be for me to go through another year like this with these unanswered prayers. And after you get done telling him how hard it's going to be, you realize that you forgot that he promised to do the hard part.
Thoughts?
That's one of the biggest challenges that we have, is letting God do the hard part. We as human beings, and our ego always wants to try to grab on and take control. But as we go through this process of turning to God, he's trying to teach, well, at the very least me, he's trying to teach me to let go and let him do it. He's got this. He can do it so much better than I can. There's so many things in life that I have no ability to do anything about. I've had no ability. I knew I had no ability. And it was those things that actually made me turn to God more than anything else, because I realized I didn't have the ability to do that. I'm not like Liam Neeson or anything, it's not, that kind of a thing. So it's one of those, you got to let go and let God. And until you can understand that lesson, it's difficult to let go. See, the thing is we need to treat life the way a surfer treats the waves. They know they can't control the ocean. They know that there's rhythms that you try to follow. Every third wave is going to be the big wave, as overall generality. And so you kind of go with the flow. You feel the rhythm of life, and as you feel that rhythm of life, it's that rhythm is finding out that God actually has that. And when you say, okay, this is my wave, you got to do your paddling to take advantage of the energy that's already there and just ride the wave and enjoy it as best you can, and know that that one particular wave is going to come to an end, and then you got to swim your ass back out there. But you're having a good time and you're in flow with the way the world works. So if you find yourself holding on to a rock in the middle of a river, a raging river, trust God. Trust God, and not this figuratively. Don't listen to this advice if you go to like Grand Canyon or anything like that. But figuratively, let go of that rock. Go with the flow. Go with the way things are going, and it's that trust in God. Okay, God, I got nothing else. And until we get to that point, it's very challenging, because that holding on is using all of your energy when God's like, if you'd let go, I'd take care of you.
Yep.
Take it easy. Mikey says, I love elevation worship.
Yes.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same thing in Texas, Liberty. Same thing in Texas.
Yeah, so much of the country. We have all 4 seasons in one day in Illinois. We had hail, but
yes,
we had hail the day before the crap happened over in Texas. So with the weather manipulation, we talked a little bit about it yesterday.
wanted to talk about it.
Yeah, and that's why I'm touching on it now. So we talked about it a little bit yesterday, where the Camp Mystic or some people had pressed to get the flood zone moved away from where that was. Needless to say, bad things happened. They've got this, what appears to be a fall guy with, you got a small weather modification thing, but we all know that the weather, the Top Gear thing is what I brought up yesterday. There was a Top Gear article where they showed the weather creation machine on TV from like the late 90s, I think is what it was. And so that's been happening forever. I think it's part of a minor exposure along with everything else that's going on. Remember, there is predictive programming, and that predictive programming is getting all these people who are just now waking up and starting to agree with, oh, we need to do something about Epstein. Oh, well, thank you, everybody there on the left. We appreciate that you finally care about the Epstein files. Thank you for coming along. Those people are still getting woken up, and so they need to be introduced to all of these other concepts like weather manipulation, because we've already been through it. But as the people are still waking up, as they're learning, oh, wait, we're being lied to, and they're, starting to see these other things, that we still have to get the people to see so many different kinds of conspiracies, because once everything comes out, people are going to, they won't be able to handle it if they had never heard about it before. That's what I'm going with. King Anu, okay, says, it's so hot here in Eastern Oregon. My chickens are laying boiled eggs. That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. It's 75, sunny with a light ocean breeze every day here. Makes it hard to live. You know what?
We know.
Yeah, I know.
We know.
Yeah, I know.
The whole time we lived in well, first of all, when I got to base housing in San Diego, I was shocked to realize there's no air conditioner.
Yeah, I remember that.
But we also didn't need it. We just kept the windows open, and it was beautiful. And I ended up probably wearing a hoodie almost every day. Almost every day.
Yeah, you didn't do that level of cold very well without it.
No.
My thing was, I just got tired of trying to Christmas tree shop in board shorts.
And sandals. Yeah.
Birkenstocks, man. Actually, I didn't have, I had no, it wasn't Birkenstocks. It was my hiking sandals.
Yeah, your hiking sandals.
Like my hiking sandals.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay, we got some drudge.
It's MSN.
Yep. Can you read it?
Oh, jeez, this article.
Yeah.
Ukrainians praise Agent Melania for turning Trump against Putin. The left spin. Okay, Ukrainians have praised undercover agent Melania Trump for convincing her husband to turn against Putin following his apparent change of heart on Russia. Following a series of failed peace talks between the U.S. and Russia, Trump admitted during a press conference on Monday that it was his wife who played a key role in pointing out the duplicity of the Russian president, who has repeatedly embarrassed the White House by saying one thing and doing another. And I'm sure it goes on and on and on. So talked about this a bit yesterday. We have to pivot. We don't have a choice because of the fact that the Crimea needs to remain in Ukrainian hands, because that denies Russia the ability to have their Black Sea fleet have that protected harbor. That's the important part about it. That's why Russia's really fighting for the Crimea. Also, with that being said, a lot of people in the Crimea have a more of a Russian descent as opposed to a Ukrainian descent. It's a very challenging thing, but we also need to make sure that the strategic play in the region is still being played. I don't believe that Ukraine will become a part of NATO. I think that that will be a red line that we shouldn't cross, at least not anytime soon. But at the same time, we need to protect, because the Black Sea Fleet, what NATO countries are there? You have Turkey, you have Greece, you have a whole bunch of them that Russia could just cause problems with right there if they wanted to. So that's why it's so important that we're kind of switching gears. Also, I do believe that there's a bigger global play because Xi Jinping is having problems. He's doing a lot of saber rattling. Remember, all foreign policy is domestic. And so as Xi Jinping is starting to have challenges within his own country, he might be doing something. This play will allow Russia and the United States to think that there is an opportunity if Xi Jinping wants to take advantage of that. And then all of a sudden things will change. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background, and it is to bring some balance that has been lost. Also, with the BRICS trying to take over the dollar, there's a lot of games being played all at once. And so this is just one thing. As far as the Melania thing goes, you know what? When have we ever relied on the press to tell 100% of the truth?
Right.
So again, take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah. But
More from
is
Drudge.
important stuff. Okay. Who's the actual? Oh, Daily Express US. Okay. Yeah, far left. Russia warns of nuclear Armageddon after Trump's latest Ukraine move. World War III tension has spiked as Vladimir Putin is said to be giving detailed thought to using nukes in Ukraine after Donald Trump's latest move. Fear porn. Donald Trump was today warned by Moscow that he is pushing Russia towards nuclear war with his new go-ahead for arms to Ukraine and the threat of punitive sanctions. State TV propagandist and war pundit Alexander Sladkov said Trump is trying to scare us with missiles, but this is difficult to do. Trump should be scared. Everyone is trying to push us to turn Kiev and Lviv into Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Okay, so all of that is very much fear porn. What's actually going on? This is saber rattling. It's saber rattling by two superpowers trying to get as much advantage as they can as we're in this cycle of change. About every 300 to 400 years, the world goes through this. It's kind of what happens. And America clearly wants to stay as the dominant power. The other powers that used to be major global powers want to be global powers. The global power that hasn't been a global power wants to be a global power now. These are all things that are going on. And the missiles are going to play a role for so many other things in the area. And it's just a matter of understanding that the words that they're using are going to be more in terms of, again, propaganda, trying to push a narrative, get people to react without asking more of the questions. Don't let the fear porn affect you or any of your loved ones or friends that are talking about it. Nobody wants a nuclear war. Nobody wants a nuclear war because it makes the ground worthless.
Bless you.
Thank you. Anyways, how can you use land? You can't even go near Chernobyl still to this day. Why do you want to use nukes? Nobody wants to use nukes. It's a threat. So take it easy. It'll be fine. We're not going to go into a world war.
Yep. You ready?
Yeah.
Another from Drudge.
Telegraph. Are new things coming up? No. Okay. 2 sworn enemies unite against Putin. Armenia aligns with Azerbaijan to threaten Russia's last big card in the Caucasus. Oh, geez.
I know.
Spend money here. Hold on a second, because I got to get
Yeah.
my Google Earth up, because that's really the important thing. And what we will be able to do is kind of get an idea as to the global everything that's going on. Jeez, here we go. Thank you for your patience. I got to get my interwebs back up over here because computers are hard. All right. Share screen. No, not entire screen. There we go.
Silver's got to go have dinner. So love you, Silver.
Enjoy your dinner. Thank you very much. Okay. So again, Black Sea, Ukraine, the Crimea is over here. So you have Azerbaijan and Armenia. Here you have Turkey. Russia is right here. I hope y'all can see the
There's no drudge limit. They just want you to spend money because the left is so
No,
smart.
no, is there a limit to how much drudge we're actually going to share? We're going to get better with sharing that. I understand that it's kind of challenging to listen to the propaganda side, but again, the nuggets of truth are in there still that we're not hearing from the other news sources. So strategically, you've got the Black Sea Fleet that's protected by the Crimea. You have Turkey, you got Greece, you got all these NATO countries around here. And then, well, Armenia has some real bad times with Turkey. There's a lot of bad blood there. So the fact that these countries are kind of almost sort of working together is something different. Also, I keep hearing some rumors about some kind of new Silk Road. It doesn't make it all the way to China, but it would most certainly need to go through this area. And that is this is a bigger play for more important things that are going to come on, because there is a pass, kind of like one of the important things about Afghanistan is that it's part of a line of communication that leads from the Far East to Europe and everything else. It's like a gateway. Well, this is another gateway here. So the fact that these two countries are working together actually means that this could create a more free trade amongst the entire world that is actually free, as opposed to the trade, the one world kind of trade system that they were creating for us, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so there's that.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's listen.
All right.
God allows storms for 2 reasons. He allows storms for correcting and storms for perfecting. The storm he put Jonah in was to correct him because he was running in the wrong direction. The storm he put the believers in, these believers, was to perfect them in their faith, but perfect them in their revelation of who he was. The same thing happens in my life and your life. Some of you and I know what it is to have a season of calm in our lives. We're inside the will of the Father. We are obeying the Lord Jesus. We're doing everything we know how to do, and out of nowhere, a hardship emerges.
Brother Bill.
Some trauma emerges. Some conflict with some people emerges. Some trial emerges. Some demonic attack emerges. Some warfare emerges, all while we're inside the will of God. You and I know what it is, some of us, to be doing everything inside the will of God and then sail directly into some hardship that we did not want, we did not ask for, we did not plan for, we did not script, we did not pray for. A lot of you listening to me right now are dealing with things that is not because you've done wrong, and it's not because God doesn't love you, it's because he actually sent you into that storm.
Thoughts?
The storms are what actually fix us. We've talked about it many times. I brought it up, and that's the refiner's fire. He puts us back into the fire 7 times. Gold refined 7 times. How is it refined 7 times? By going into the fire, melting, and having the dross rise to the top, scraping that off, and then you fire it up again. That's how you get the impurities out of something. And so we're getting the impurities out of us. That's what these trials are about. And that doesn't make it easy. It doesn't make it any better to deal with these trials. I'm sure it wasn't easy to be in the belly of a whale for 3 days, but it kind of is what it is, right? But it's how we grow. These are how we change. And so we need to count it all joy. And that can be one of the most difficult challenges that we have, is in the middle of our greatest trials to count it all joy, but we know that it's for our benefit. And so it's that very twist, that change in the mindset of being grateful for the challenges that he gives to us, because we know that he's trying to make us better, and he's giving us that opportunity to draw closer to him. Instead of shaking your fist at him and telling him how everything's wrong and about how you do it better, that doesn't make any, that's not going to fix anything. He's trying to teach you something. I've heard people say, "Oh, I don't believe in that Bible stuff." Well, you don't have to believe in it, but it's still going to happen. Same thing. It's gonna happen. So you may as well figure out what he's trying to teach you.
Yeah.
King Anu says, as we sit here, they are building millions of robots that they will soon turn loose on us, but it is the microscopic ones that are the most deadly.
And the only thing I can say to that is I just keep telling myself every day God wins.
That's really what it boils down to, is don't fear the attacks. It says it, so many times, that we shouldn't live in fear simply because the attacks of the enemy will not prosper. They will fail and they will turn against them. We don't know how it's going to work. They had this brilliant plan about the Rona, right? A brilliant plan about how they were going to take out a whole third of the planet. Well, they didn't take out a third. They took out way too many.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those, that was because of the other crap that they were giving these people and the damn breathing systems that they had.
Yeah.
So their plans are not always going to work. It might work in a lab, but once it gets out into the real world, it was like, we shared this story about, I think it was Boston Dynamics had some robot that was designed specifically to deal with military type scenarios. So they brought it out there. They let the Marines try to do things. What'd they do? Somebody played Metal Gear Solid one too many times, lifted up, or they used a cardboard box, and they moved the cardboard box, and then they were able to actually shut the robot down. It's like, there's so many things. The human ingenuity and the inspiration that God gives us will prevent these kinds of things. We're hearing about these drone swarms and about how dangerous that can be. If God doesn't want it to work, it won't work. Again, faith of a mustard seed.
Mike likes our code words. Are you ready?
Well, we're on the tube of you. Well, we got to do what we got to do.
Yep. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
We got a special motivational tonight from our own Miss Jenny. You ready?
Yes.
Let's listen.
We are stars wrapped in skin. The light you are seeking has always been within.
All right. Thoughts?
That's really the most important thing, is the light that he's given us is within. And that's what we need. We need to let our light shine. And we have to understand that light that is within us is the very light that we're supposed to be finding. What is that light? Rambo had shared that video Kingdom, and we played that a couple of times.
Yes,
and
I
it specifically
love that
speaks
video.
to that. And if you haven't seen it in a while, go check it out. It's certainly on YouTube, and it's just named Kingdom. And it's a great video, and it's talking about overcoming all of these challenges that are put, on us every single day of our lives, and it's up to us to find that light within us, so that way we can be that encouragement to other people, because you can't fill an empty cup with an empty pitcher, and the only way to fill up that pitcher is to get rid of the brokenness that's within each of us, so that way we can have and hold that light, so that we can share it with people around us, so that way they can fix their pitcher and they can give their light to others. That is the point, is that light, that love that's in each and every one of us is what we should be striving for each and every day. So make sure that you are nurturing and caring for that little child who got hurt oh so long ago and is probably still getting hurt to this very day. You got to love yourself, and you got to love the world around you. And the only way to do that is to find that light and know that the healing that you seek, God has given it to you it deep inside of you, and that it's that love that helps bring it out.
Yep. Exactly. And you know what? One thing that Jesus said was, go out and make disciples of everyone. That is shining your light bright. You don't have to speak eloquently. You don't have to say all the right things and have every verse memorized.
I don't.
All you have to do is share your testimony. And we all have one. So go out there. And if you think someone needs to hear the good news, remember, the feet are beautiful of the one who brings the good news.
Very well. All right, everybody. We've had a great time, and we appreciate each and every one of you. And we thank you for joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Do we not have X?
No.
Okay, fine. Rumble, Locals, and Pill.net.
And if you haven't already, please take a minute and hit that thumbs up. Also, don't forget to comment after the show. It really helps us with the algorithm. Share it with all your friends. Let them know we're a little crazy, but we have fun. Yep. And we will see you guys tomorrow night, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. We love each and every one of you. Brother Bill, we're glad you showed up.
All of
Chachi,
y'all.
we're so glad you came back. I know we were gone 3 months, but we're back now, and we love each and every one of you. Thank you for all that you do.
Yes. Thank each and every one of you. All right, everybody. We'll see y'all tomorrow. We love you all. Have a great night. Be safe, and God bless each and every one of you.